Sound cool, guys. Sound cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that. Yeah, it's not, but it's supposed to be.
Good enough.
uh,
Alice, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
So, how is everybody this fine Saturday evening?
Oh, good, huh?
Good.
Good.
Ready to die.
Good. That's the state that I want you in for this campaign.
suicidal.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably not.
No, suicidal implies you want to die. I just want to make sure that you are ready to die.
But I do want to die.
Prepared for the eventuality.
depressing
Right, that's
dream.
fine as well. If you want to, that implies preparedness.
I ain't saying it.
Can I just say, this Saturday has been too fine. It is the fucking middle of October, and it was fucking like early 20s out there, like low 20 Celsius degrees out there. What the fuck?
It was sick.
It has been eerily warm.
It was very warm still.
Just waiting for it.
This was not
Winter
part of the
will
deal.
come. Probably.
I'm waiting for the winter in Sweden. That's not that fun.
Doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, can we have a little bit of your Swedish winter, please? Can we trade you some summer? We've had too much.
Yeah.
Afraid you.
You do not want some Swedish winter.
No, just like a little bit of it, just to, take your edge off, give us a little bit more of an edge.
Hasn't come yet. When it comes, I'll send it your way.
Jesus, it's still not even winter in Sweden. I guess it is technically, fall or October, or autumn, whatever you want to call it. But still, it should be cold by now at least. I fucking went out in just a fucking t-shirt and a button-up today. And it was like I was too warm by the time I got into town.
Wow. Why am I hearing Sarai's stream open? That's why I'm hearing double.
Yeah, you
Oops.
maybe want to mute that. All right then. So, with the session today, I'm deliberately not going to look at the stream because I am terrified. I get stage fright, so I'm just going to avoid that problem right now. I don't want to know how many people are watching.
I'd be,
pictures are still
stage-
there.
Three.
Oh god.
3 people are still watching. Holy shit.
Excellent.
Oh, it's got 5.
Oh god! No, please, wait!
5,000.
5,000.
Welcome to the chat, Stray Cat.
I may have just given you guys a tour, and then the dragon rears back and prepares its mighty breath weapon. Hey, Stephen, we've got over 300 people watching right now. The dragon prepares its breath weapon. He misses. Okay, it's your turn.
Oh god.
Please tell me that transition properly.
Good times. So today's session is going to be. Today's session is going to be it's going to be both fairly short and fairly light because we haven't established who the party is yet, like your kind of dealio and what kind of goals you have as a party. I kind of want to just ease us into this a bit so you guys can get into character a little bit, kind of feel yourselves out a bit, and it also gives me a chance to potentially write some stuff specifically tailored for you guys later on. So we'll take it easy. We'll take it easy to start with. So, I have prepared a couple of things though. Does anybody have any questions before we begin?
No, not yet.
No?
I'm sure
Okay.
they'll come.
They're gonna come.
Yeah, they're
Oh.
definitely
Yeah,
gonna come.
They'll probably come in spades and I may not have answers. So, let me see. So, with the setting, main thing is right now the technology level of humans, I guess, is relatively quite low. We're talking kind of like lower medieval kind of technology at this point, where you guys have got magic. Like magic is readily available for the most part, but it's not nearly as good as many of the other races. And by the time you guys are like fully leveled up, if we do get to that eventuality, you'll probably be better than pretty much anybody else within the human realms, I suppose. And we are going to be taking place primarily in like human areas of the world, for now at least, unless you guys decide to take this in a really weird direction. We want to go visit the elves. Oh boy.
We're gonna test your imagination a bit.
Yeah, test my ability to come up with stuff on the spot.
The land of the giant slime blobs.
Ah, yes, the giant slime blobs. Behold their mighty airships. Giant slime blobs just turn out to be the Garlean Empire.
Plot twist.
Plot
Or better yet, the Garlean Empire turns out to be the giant slime blobs.
It's like Gaius Xenos takes off the mask. It's just a slime.
Excellent. So starting out, you guys will be beginning in a fairly small human/goblin town called Ownstone. This town, let me just copy and paste a little bit in here. Now, whether or not you guys are residents of this town, or if you have travelled here, is entirely up to you. And you know, see if you can come up with an interesting reason if you are travelling. I don't know if we want to necessarily go around the room and figure out what everybody's circumstances are here in town, or if we want to get just straight into a bit of role playing here.
I'm here visiting the library, if they have a library.
That's a good question. I think they probably do have a library of sorts, although it's probably in a fairly poor state of disrepair. I think.
Does it have at least one very old book?
It's probably got a few very old books.
Then I'm here.
Is
You
that
can leave.
perhaps that's where we open? Maybe with Renryu checking out the local library. So we got to come in on this. We get a few establishing shots of the town and like some of the population of it. Humans going about their business, goblins being fucking goblins pulling pranks and going around in gangs and the like. And maybe we come into this. It's probably like kind of a ruin, really. This building, mostly woodwork. It looks like it's been burnt down a few times, and possibly once in fairly recent memory, and only really quite shoddily rebuilt. A lot of the books are just ruined as we kind of like pan across some of the bookshelves. Just like either so like misused or so like. So I'm being distracted by people drawing things all over the game board again.
Sorry, I'm trying to erase it.
Just very old, like abused or generally quite damaged books that have not been looked after very carefully. And we see this dwarf kind of like pretty much alone amongst the bookshelves. Perhaps just paging through one of these books. Ren, would you mind describing your character for us?
Yeah, okay, so he's Ren, you know, a dwarf. He's a bit taller than your average dwarf, kind of skinny. He's definitely not been in the typical dwarven lifestyle. He's not very stocky. He's got a pretty weak beard that's growing. He still grows it nonetheless. He's sort of middle-aged, which is like 200 for a dwarf, middle age?
Yeah, that'd be about the right the right area.
So he's like 200 years old, 207 years old. He's sort of balding with shoulder length black hair receding. He's got these piercing turquoise coloured eyes. He's a little bit hunched over. You can see that he's always reading and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what is like the nature of the book that you are currently perusing? Do we get like a shot of it, like over the shoulder view by the camera?
Yeah, I mean something on arcane magic, maybe historical. Yeah, I don't know really.
Yeah, maybe a. I'm trying to think what the title of the book would be. It's probably the most boring title you can possibly imagine, like treatises of the
50 Shades of Grey.
elven arts of magic throughout the 4th and 7th centuries, something like that.
Yeah.
Or 50 Shades of Arcane.
That work?
Yeah.
It's off to a great start.
Yeah. And yeah, you're reading this book. Would any of the other characters have a reason to be in the library at all, or to be investigating this dwarven traveller? I don't know if any of you are necessarily residents, or.
Well, I, Soraya Fellspring, have seen this odd dwarf and decided to follow him because he looks like he might have something worth stealing.
Oh, nice. Nice.
As anyone who's interested in old books and stuff certainly has expensive trinkets. Because as
Yeah, like travelers tend to accumulate interesting items that could
Risky
potentially be
moves,
sold.
buddy.
yes, and as a halfling who was on the streets as a child and was took in by an old elf for a while, I could appreciate that some of these books that people think are worthless have true value, and
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think books were definitely something that your elf companion, former companion, I don't know, was very interested in. Like he was probably the last person to spend any reasonable amount of time in this library, and since then it hasn't really caught anyone's attention. Unless, of course, the interest in knowledge rubbed off on you at all.
a little bit. I do have some interest in books, but it's more
Yeah.
I can appreciate the complexity of the arcane and how useful it can be.
Yeah. All right. So, do we maybe get this kind of point POV shot of kind of like quite a low angle, like even shorter than the dwarf, just kind of like slowly approaching him from behind, I think as he's just kind of like hunched over this book that he's reading, like a nerd. So yeah, go ahead and just like describe what you're doing. Like, are you gonna try and pickpocket him? Are you gonna try to maybe distract him with conversation?
I'm gonna go
What
up
do you
to him and try and distract with conversation.
Mhm.
Uh,
So what do you say?
I say to him, "What are you doing here? No one ever comes to this library."
I just ignore him. I'm completely engrossed in this
Completely
amazing book.
blanked.
Well,
Like, wow, the
50
fourth.
Shades is one of one of the best reads I've had in a while.
50 Shades of Prismatic Spray.
Oh god.
ooh. Noticing that he's distracted, I'm just like, okay. And I go to pickpocket him, see if he has anything interesting.
Okay, so let me see here then. So Ren, you are aware of this, so you can roll perception as like a defense. Soraya, would you like to roll? Let's have a look here. Let me have a quick peek at the skills. Yeah, sleight of hand. It'll be for this.
Okay. What was it?
I think if it's like any of my abilities, you can just click on the wee switch bubble beside it.
Yes, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can click on the name. Before you roll. Okay, well, never mind. I was gonna say Ren maybe has disadvantage on this because he's aware of the presence, but he's actively engrossed in the book. But yeah, Soraya, it doesn't matter anyway. The 8 is the lower roll on that. Soraya, yeah, you managed to reach into Ren's belt and you just just pull something maybe out of a pouch on the belt without him even looking up from the book. Like you simply don't notice anything, Ren.
Okay.
Let me just have a quick peek at your items, if you don't mind. Let's see. Okay, so it won't be that. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you wearing right now, Ren? What is your current attire?
Well, I've got my leather armor on,
Okay.
which is like my standard get-up. The robes, I was kind of thinking of talking to you about actually, because I want to wear robes, but I just want a plain robe because I want that over the leather armor. So I'm never going to use that for like.
Yeah, I
equipment,
think
if that's okay.
you could definitely get like robes that would fit like over the armor.
Yeah, more of like a cloak or something, I guess. But
Yeah, that'd be fine.
yeah. So I've got that. I've got my staff. I forgot to mention that as well.
You have, yes, you've got a staff.
Yeah,
Should
apart
start.
from that, the rest.
Yeah.
I'd like to say the crystal. I have a crystal arcane focus. I'd like to keep that somewhere close to my person, so that'd be quite hard to take. Anything else
Okay.
is fair play.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so Soraya, for me, I would like you to type into the chat thing /r space D9. That will roll for us a 9-sided die. A 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you managed to salvage. You managed to get something. Your hand like catches something, and you can like slip it out of like Ren, away from Ren's person without anybody noticing anything. And do you like retreat before you look at what it is, or
No, I just look at it right there.
right there and then? Yeah, you look at it and it's a book. Funnily enough.
No.
Yeah. Ren, for the camera's sake, what is there a title on this book, or is this like a personal, like, nameless book?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think
How's
about that yet. It's just another typical book. Maybe something I got from another place in my journeys.
Oh, so it's, yeah, okay.
It's probably something I've read already. Nothing important.
Yeah. So Ra, yeah, you get this book, and it's it just looks like another one of the boring library books that kind of like surround you, like probably a bit better condition, I'm guessing, but Ren can correct me on that. But
Well, I'd like to think that it was a pretty decent book, otherwise I wouldn't carry it on my person. So maybe
Yeah.
there's like a little bit of historical information of relevance to me or something.
yeah. So yeah, it's up to you, Soraya, if that's of any value to you. But for now, yeah, you've managed to pick a book off this guy that could like have easily just come from this library, for all you know.
Would me having spent time in the library before, because of the old elf man, would I be able to tell if it was from the library?
That sounds like it would be an intelligence saving throw, I think. Let me just have a quick check of the, whatchamacallums, skills. And perception, history, insight. I don't know if investigation would necessarily work. I think an intelligence saving throw on that. Probably DC, I'm gonna say DC 12. Like, it's not a very well stocked library, so you could potentially keep like a mental note of pretty much everything in here.
Okay.
So yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you don't know. You're not sure. Like, it looks like it belongs in a library. It is a book.
Well, I then take this book and go around to sit at the same table as the strange dwarf, and just start, reading it and say like to him, "This is a very interesting book you had here."
Just does Ren just space that again? He's completely ignoring the guy.
He sort of
Like the-
grunts, huh? Looks around. He doesn't really take notice of it. He looks at the face of this person,
This halfling that is trying to interrupt your reading.
grunts again, and looks back at his book.
Alright, very good.
Well,
Yeah.
now I'm not sure what to do.
Take his clothes.
I'm afraid you need a thievery skill of 100 in order to do that while he's awake. So
Okay, for flavour.
Yeah.
Ren sees something of note in this book.
Yeah.
And he's going to reach into his bag to try and take out some parchment, take some notes. As he goes in, he realizes his pack's open. His book's missing. And he looks around and he sees this, what was it, a halfling?
Yeah.
He sees the halfling reading his book, sort of sitting there. What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Sorry, just you don't get many visitors in this library. Just thought I'd see what kind of person you were. This book's rather interesting.
Well, I think I'll be taking it back.
Sure, just try not to lose it again. These books could be hard to come by.
So you give him the book back.
I hand him the book back. Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Let's see. Sarai, can I get a perception check from you, please? Let me go and I'll get you a DC on that. Efficiencies. Oh. Right. Got. All right. Perception check of 6. Let's see. Actually, I am. Yeah, I'll just type it in. D20 plus. Yeah, no, neither of you notice anything happening. Let me just. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think some time passes. Soraya, do you stay in the library with this weird dwarf traveler? Are you that curious, or do you want to leave and sort your own thing out?
Yeah, I just leave him to it and go wander around the market to see if there's any inattentive stall people. Yeah. So we can like kind of leave Ren behind in the library for a few minutes, and let's try and introduce one or more new characters here. So, Soraya, we follow the halfling as he leaves the dwarf to his musky old business and heads outside, and maybe kind of a few jump cuts of him walking through different streets in the town, maybe kind of dodging a goblin gang as they scurry past and turn hurriedly down a very narrow alleyway before a human guard can like catch up to them as he chases after them. All of the goblins like giggling gleefully as they they're probably carrying like a probably not a bag of gold coins, but a probably like a bag of flour or something they've just stolen more just to piss people off than to actually accomplish anything. And when we reach the market, let's go ahead and let's get Taunt in on this. So Taunt,
Hello.
you are in this town, this human goblin kind of town. Are you traveling here, or is this where you live?
No, I'm travelling through.
Okay.
There's a nice goblin bakery on the corner that I like to go every morning through as I'm passing. I need to get my
Very good.
scones.
Yeah, the goblin scones. Yeah, it's questionable ingredients, but if you don't ask about it, then it's actually quite nice. All right, Sarai, you see another traveler cross your path up ahead. This would you have seen each other before, or is this kind of Sarai? Oh, sorry, Taunt's first kind of couple days here? Do you think?
I'd say it's probably the first couple of days. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, another creature crosses your path, and you might. This is a bit of a strange-looking creature. This one. It's a quick look here. See if you've got like any. Okay, so you haven't got like your height or weight listed. Describe Taunt carrying for us, please.
I don't want to be just generic and say big dragon bloke.
I mean, you can describe it however you like. Like big dragon bloke, cool. Like what kind of scales does your dragon bloke have?
Scaly scales.
Scaly scales. All right. They're a pretty colour?
Let's say blue.
Blue scales. All right. And is this like kind of like complete like body coverage scales, or do you have like patches of skin of like kind of like as with another race or something? Like part human, part dragony thing?
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, part human, part scaly dragony thing.
Okay. And are you wearing your chainmail?
Yep, chainmail.
Yeah. So this big blue armored, scaly dragon creature kind of crosses your path, Soraya. And is this something that something that would catch your well? I imagine there's something that would catch your interest.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular response to this? This definitely looks like somebody who might be carrying some good stuff.
Yeah, I decide to go up to him and try and start his conversation, just to distract him, to find out more information, because, you don't want to accidentally get murdered by a giant dragon boy.
Yeah, of
when
course,
trying to
of course.
pickpocket him. So I got up to the strange, tall dragon bloke and go, "You're a mighty tall one, aren't you?"
And I sort of hear this and turn around and go, and you're quite small. What of it?
Nothing, just you don't see many of you. You don't see many scaly boys around this part.
Scaly boys.
All aboard the Scaly Boy train.
Dunno.
Well, I just happen to be passing through getting my goblin skulls, yes.
Oh, from the bakery in the corner of 4th and Death Mountain.
Exactly.
Love that place.
Would you like
Oh
one?
my god, there is totally a place in the town called Death Mountain where it's just like a pile of skulls, and nobody knows where they keep coming from.
They just accept
Fall
it.
down from the sky.
Right. So, pardon, sir. What did you? I didn't quite catch that last remark.
Would you like a skull?
I would love a skull.
I've already got one, thanks.
You're going to steal one off me?
No, I would appreciate a skull. It's hard out here for a young street urchin.
I can understand this. Yes, there you go, my child of the street.
Thanks. My name's Soraya.
Nice to meet you, Sarai.
Spring of Fells.
What the hell did I call myself? I'm Tontkaran.
Lovely to meet you. I've spent a lot of time in this town. Is there anything you would like to know?
Why would I be passing through? Well, do you know of any other bakeries that have choice goods?
There's one on Market Street that does wonderful eclairs. Just don't ask what they put in them. It kind of ruins it.
Oh,
I don't want to know.
Well, I shall certainly head that direction and try that, I think. Thank you very much.
No problem. Have a wonderful day, Taunt.
You too.
So, did you still want to pickpocket him while you were having that conversation?
No, he seems nice. I'll let him keep his stuff. Plus, he gave me a scone.
Delicious. Yeah, you kind of came out on top in that little exchange. Very good.
I don't think that's actually listed in my inventory though, but sure, whatever.
What, the scones? Yeah, go ahead and. Do you have any gold to have purchased these scones with?
What's my gold under?
Oh yeah, there it is. You've got 15 GP.
Oh, GP. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, go ahead and knock off. Say, how many scones would you have liked to buy? Like, we'll say a scone is. We'll say one scone is probably 3 copper pieces.
Okay.
Wow,
well,
what a
I'd say
bargain.
I'll have bought 3. And I give one away.
3 scones is 9 copper pieces. So go ahead and mark that one down. And let's see. No, sorry, copper pieces, not gold pieces.
Oh, sorry.
So sorry. Let me explain how the currency system works. So it's 10 copper pieces to a silver piece, 10 silver pieces to a gold piece, and then the E we're gonna ignore electrum pieces for now.
Okay, so if I take
So go down to 14 GP,
9,
9 silver, and 1 copper. Yeah.
That's a bit all.
Very good. Very good. And let's see. Do we want to follow Taunt or Soraya? Let's follow Taunt a bit further. We can come back to Soraya potentially. Taunt, do you, where are you? Let's actually see if we can establish, or do you want to establish why you're in the town? as like your reason for being here, or is it purely
besides
just
scones.
scones? Delicious scones.
Delicious scones.
Are you a traveling paladin just sampling the baked goods of the land?
Let's just say I'm a traveling paladin trying to find the injustices that I can right while eating scones, apparently.
Eating scones.
You come for the injustice, but you stay for the scones.
Exactly. Baked goods are the best.
All right. So you're going to. Are you on your way anywhere in particular? Do you want to go to that that scone? That's the eclair shop on Market Street.
Yep, let's go to there.
Let's see. Just trying to think. I'm trying to like add little flavorful things in as we go. Should have prepared a few more of them ahead of time, but hey.
Can I ask the physique of Tont's dragon? Because I'm imagining him to be quite chunky in the belly area.
For the scones, probably.
Or goblin skulls.
Or that.
I suppose he probably would be a bit. It's only 2 scones. I give one away.
Yeah, but now you're going directly to the next place to buy eclairs. I mean, come on.
Oh, I
I'll
did just
not
come
eat
out
them all
of a
at
bakery,
once.
but you know what?
Come on, don't be rude to him. He's on a diet.
I've earned this today.
Let's see. Let's see. We've got then Alice or Oberon. You guys have any preference? Would either of you be in a eclair shop?
I could be outside.
Probably not.
I can perch against the wall outside.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we maybe follow Taunt as Taunt walks down a few more streets. We see like a group of human children playing with what are probably actually adult goblins, but they're just playing like a fairly basic children's game of like tag or maybe red light or whatever. As it's completely innocently over to one side. And yeah, as you approach this bakery, Big Blue Taunt. Oberon, what do we see of your character outside this bakery? Are you watching these children and goblins play, or?
I'm not looking particularly shifty or anything. I'm just chilling outside the bakery. You've just seen me polish off an eclair that the shop's famous for, obviously. And I'm a half elf, but what gives it away is because I would look elvish, but I'm a bit too tall for that, I think, because I think elves are quite short in D&D, aren't they?
That actually want to check. It honestly depends from setting to setting on the height of elves. Some say short, some say tall. For like, I think for in this one we'll say for high elves they're probably very tall, but drow and wood elves could be quite short.
Right.
I think. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a half elf, and I'm just like chilling outside this bakery, polishing my eclair off. Yep, that's it. And I spot this big blue lizard boy walking towards me.
Yeah.
Strange place for a man with so much armor. What brings you to the bakery, Mr. Dragon?
Well, hello there. Well, obviously the eclairs. I see you know of them.
Yeah, they're banging.
Exactly. Tell me, do you like scones?
I do prefer eclairs, but I've just eaten one, so I think I'll pass. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Oh, no problem. Well, sure. I shall go in and try an eclair then. Thank you. Goodbye.
And we passed like 2 ships in the night.
Appropriate, considering. Let's see. I think. Let's see. I think Nat. As Taunt heads in, I think one of the probably one of the human children kind of runs up to you and like kind of hesitates for a second, looking up at you before quite shyly kind of slapping your hand and saying, "Tag," and just running off. And all of the children and goblins just scatter, running away from you. Do you want to give chase?
I think I'm a bit too lazy for that, and I don't have haste yet, so I can't cheat. Can I see where they've run off to?
Yeah, you can you could like follow one of them. Like I think a lot of them like can like run off and like reach maybe the edge of an alleyway or something, and then like stop to see if you're actually gonna give chase.
Can I pretend to give chase? Like run a few feet and then until they
Yeah.
run or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
totally,
do that.
totally. Yeah. You you can maybe crouch down and start like sprinting towards one of them, and yeah, the probably one of the goblins like shrieks and like pushes the human child that he's with, just, like forward, like go kind of thing. And yeah, you can yeah, you start giving chase and then you stop as they like run off and let them have their little victory, I guess.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah,
I've
totally.
left the library. I'm just walking through a random street, and a little goblin child runs in front of me, and I nearly trip over him. I say,
Yeah.
"Ah, you little shit!" And then he just runs
Wow.
off screaming.
Yeah, just like kind of runs off like kind of like just screaming back at you. Ah, what? Can't catch me! Yeah. Just as a side thing, Ren, I don't know when you will when you will notice this or when you would check, but at some point you're going to discover that that book that Soraya stole from you and that you took back from him, that book has gone again.
Okay.
Like, like when do you think that's something that when do you think you would notice this? Like, is that going to be kind of like in while you're still in the library, just like checking your things, like you didn't take anything else? Son of a bitch. Or would that be
Well, you
later?
mean it was gone when I was in the library?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine I would have known that already. So
Yeah,
I
you
found
would've-
out when I was in, just as I was about to leave.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can. So yeah, your book is once again missing. So are you now on the hunt for that book?
Yeah, I'm looking around for the little halfling again, assuming it was him. But we can come back to that.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, where has who do we want to follow now? Do we want to follow Nat 20? Do we want to follow? Yeah, actually, yeah, let's follow Nat 20. Where do you go after? Where do you go after scaring off the goblins and children over on?
So, I think my drive for this character is that he's just wondering. He wants to see shit. So he's gonna go look for some
Right.
impressive buildings, see what the town has to offer, because he's new here, I think. So is
Okay.
the library an impressive building? Is there much to this village?
The library might be one of the least impressive buildings you've ever seen.
Hmm.
But I mean, maybe you want to visit it to see what knowledge has been accumulated here.
Yeah.
Maybe
true,
that
true.
that's one way of gauging the success of a town. Or
Yes,
maybe
I've been hearing about this library from some commoners. I've been seeing if there's any good things I can learn from the library. Maybe a new story to tell at a tavern or whatever. So I'll head towards the library or whatever direction I think it is.
okay, yeah. Yeah, if you're not too familiar with him, make a survival check for me to just like try and navigate.
Let me find it.
So right at the bottom of the skills list. DC, no, not terribly hard. DC 10. Hey, yep, yeah. You can after maybe half an hour of wandering about from street to street, and I don't know if you'll risk stopping to ask any of the locals where the library might be, but you do find yourself in front of the library eventually. And would Ren still be there? Do we maybe hear like a cursing dwarf coming from inside the library? Ren?
Are we asking me? Well, I left
Yeah.
already, so I mean, are we in like real time here, or are we going back?
We can be in real time. We can be going back. Like, do you want to be at the library when Nat gets there?
No, I'm in that alley, and I'm heading towards the direction of that eclair shop. So I'm not there anymore.
Oh yes, more people hearing about the
Mate.
famous mystery eclairs.
I'm not heading particularly for that shop, but I'm in the general area.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, let's deal with Nat first. I'd like to try and get Alice in on this. So
Yep.
Alice, would you have any?
No, I was nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Would you have any reason to be at the library?
I'd be standing probably just outside of the library.
Yeah.
There would be a large crowd around me as I'm currently preaching about my god.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. We haven't gotten into gods too much yet. I've spoken very briefly with Tont about this, but
Okay.
gods. I haven't like prepared like a pantheon for these gods.
Alright.
I kind of want to get you guys to help me with that, like help me establish what gods we have in this setting. So
Well,
the best.
okay. I was
Yeah, so
brought
what-
up in a very kind of strict monastery. I was only told about 2 gods. There was
okay.
the light goddess, who we are told was all knowing, all good. He created the world, and then there was all of life on it. And then we were told about the dark goddess Amity, who created all the monsters and plagues and seeks to destroy all of creation.
Interesting. Go ahead and message me those names, or like put them in the chat or something.
Okay. I'll do that in a sec.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right. And yeah, you're preaching about. Are you preaching about the god of light on this?
No, I'm not. I'm preaching about the god of darkness, but the reason why isn't clear yet.
Okay. Do we?
There'll be a alarm. Yeah, sorry,
Sorry?
go on. No, you go on.
Okay. I was gonna say, do we? How do you wanna lay this out then? Should we have it's Nat, isn't it? It's over on approaching the library now.
Mhm.
So should we have like kind of following with him and just kind of like has to like kind of push through the crowd hearing your sermon to get into the library, or do we wanna? How do we wanna handle that?
Kind of interested to see what he's saying, see the tensions in the village, and
Yep.
hear about this god that I've not really heard much about somehow. So I stand off to the side and just listen in,
Yeah, you
listening to the
pause.
preaching.
As you know, as like a small side note, here is a another half elf, which half elves not very common
Yeah.
as races go, like especially in a town like this one. So yeah, Maid Alice, what do we see from you? What do we hear?
He
Right,
kind of
sit-
catch
sit-
me
sit-
in the middle of it, so I'd be speaking about how. Hang on. I'd be preaching about how, because most people know about the light god. It's kind of a well-known god within the world. I'd be speaking about how everything that people know isn't real. The light god created it simply so that we could be slaves to him, and the dark god made monsters and plagues simply to make us stronger, so that we could overthrow this person who created us simply to be slaves.
Fuck you, Heidelin.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting. I think so. I think you're definitely getting like definitely you are definitely attracting a crowd with shouts like that. Let's have you make a roll on that. Let's go with. It's definitely going to be a charisma thing. Do you want to roll? I'll allow either performance or persuasion on this.
Probably persuasion, I think.
Yeah, persuasion is a pretty good roll for you. So yeah, do you want to make that roll just see if you're winning this crowd over a bit?
Okay. Quick question: how do I do that?
Okay, so on your character sheet, you've got
Yep.
your list of skills.
Yep.
Where it says persuasion, if you mouse over it, it'll turn red, like just the name persuasion. You can just click on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this is with disadvantage, by the way, because you're trying to preach kind of like a darker god to these people.
Yeah.
So a 9. Yeah, you've got a few people who are like definitely hanging about, like very much interested in this kind of thing. I'm tempted to say predominantly goblins. I know I've been pushing goblins quite a lot with this town so far, but honestly, pushing like a darker god who is like trying to say that like you guys are all slaves, you need to break free of your bonds, kind of thing. That sounds like a very goblin thing to be interested in. So, yeah, like like large portions of the human crowd and like a good number of elements of the goblin crowd are just kind of waving you off and like going back to their own business after a couple of minutes. But you definitely get like a small, kind of like dedicated group who are very less like kind of following every word that you say, but more just interested of like, okay, tell me more. I think let me see here. I think I think maybe one of the humans kind of just calls out to you. It's probably a bit of a peasant farmer kind of type dude. Just like, because this is like a farming is like one of the major economy or industries, I guess, of this town. Like there's farming and fishing and lumber for the most part in this town. So yeah, he kind of like calls out to you and says, so what is this god of yours doing lately? Is he the one who was taking all of our crops?
And I would say that is simply a consequence of you not being strong enough to withstand the forces of nature. If you want to keep everything you know and love dear, you need to fight for it. And from what I've seen of this town, most of your content is simply wither away and die.
Yeah, I think a group of kind of chattering goblins kind of give a small cheer at that, because you're like you are encouraging action very much, and fighting for survival, which the goblins are definitely into. Let's see. I think I think probably get another you probably get another couple of shout outs from various people, both humans and goblins. Make me an insight roll, because I think you could be like learning a few things from this crowd potentially. And actually, Nat, you can do the same. Oh, that's a good roll.
Insight.
Yes, insight. Just to kind of like learn, like pick things out from like what this crowd is saying and like kind of figure out their intent.
Not
So yeah, Alice,
practical.
Oberon, yeah, to you this is like typical calling. Whenever the gods are brought up, everybody is skeptical of any gods that they do not immediately follow.
Bit
So
of an eye roll moment.
yeah. But Alice, you get the impression that this is these people are pretty upset about something, and they're looking for somebody to blame. And the god that you're preaching, you're trying to preach this god in like a good light of like not letting, like maybe correct me if I'm wrong on this, but not letting other gods kind of sway you and like coerce you into courses of action, kind of thing. But to live for yourself. But yeah, like even though you're trying to preach this as like a good thing, like you say God of Darkness, and they're immediately jumping on that. Like, can we blame this thing for our problems? Whatever those problems may be. And I think Nat, shall we carry on into the library from here?
Yeah, I just kind of shake my head, like a bit entertained by all the drama happening outside, and then walk into the library, see what it's got to offer.
Yeah. All right. So you enter the library, and all right, leaving the sun and the shouting people and Alice's sermon behind outside. It's surprisingly quiet in here, considering the ruckus outside. And yeah, it's honestly a bit of an underwhelming location. Like a lot of the, like I said earlier, like it looks like it's been ruined several times in a row and shoddily rebuilt. A lot of the books are just useless or destroyed. But I think as you enter, you find somebody in there. I think you find a human girl in there, just kind of like reading a book at probably like sitting at a table and just like kind of slowly reading through this book that she's got. She doesn't seem to notice you when you enter.
Alright, so can I walk by and have like a subtle peek at what she's reading?
Yeah. So yeah, you walk by, and again, she doesn't like. She completely just doesn't notice you. And looking over her shoulder, it looks like it's a. It looks like it's a. Let me actually throw this one over to the owner of the book. Hey Ren, what do you have any notion yet of what the book is specifically about?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about that.
Yeah.
I haven't got a title as such, but it's a book on sort of ancient arcane civilizations. And,
Okay.
like sort of temples for these ancient civilizations.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So kind of like the old like forgotten temples of the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I should. Where's my notebook? Ah. All right. So yeah, that's what you see her reading, Nat. I don't know how you necessarily interpret that.
Right.
It's a bit of an odd book for her to be reading, but like a little bit specific.
Is she an adult? Is she a child? Like.
She's probably like young adult, like maybe late teens.
Right. So I'll go up to him and be like, "That's an interesting book. Does this library have much stuff like that?"
She doesn't react to you.
People in this library so rude.
I told you it's an interesting book.
All right.
It's a pop-up book.
Yeah. Do you like poke her shoulder to get her attention or anything?
No,
Or do you want
I wouldn't intrude on her personal reading time. I'll just give a sigh and walk away, like see what's going on in the library, see if there's any other cool books around.
And as you walk away, I think you hear a voice. You hear a voice kind of like speaking from somewhere slightly above you, just as in a slightly raspy voice. She can't hear you.
Okay. So can I look around, see where the voice came from?
Yeah. You kind of like look up into one side, and yeah, kind of perching on like the edge of a bookshelf near you is this kind of slightly wizened old goblin. Picture goblins looking not necessarily like little green men or like the Final Fantasy gas mask goblins, but kind of like sort of almost bat-like creatures, little like kind of half bat people. They don't have any wings, but they're very. They've got like weird tufts of fur on them, very long pointed ears. Not very good eyesight, and yeah, like these little pointed snouts almost.
And he's on top of the bookshelf, like.
Yeah. He's just like perching on top of a bookshelf, looking down at you. Yeah, and he like. Do you reply to him or do them keep talking?
Yeah. Is she deaf? I ask. Can she not hear or something?
Yes, deaf since birth. Parents threw her out.
That's a shame. At least she has lots of books to read, though.
Yes, old Wrinkles finds her more books. She likes to hide in them, I think. The world is too harsh.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are you looking to escape?
Escape? Escape from what?
The goblin like kind of frowns at you like are you stupid or something, and just like gestures his head kind of back towards the girl. Like, escape from the world.
Oh no.
That is why you things read, isn't it? You people.
Sometimes people read to learn, to find out about what happened in history and stuff, not just to escape from reality. Am I gonna have like a philosophical debate with this goblin? Let's go.
Well, fine, yeah. What use is reading about their past if not to escape the present? Hmm? Kind of like he's probably got like these like old reading glasses that don't actually fit his face. I know he's just got like peering over them at you.
So I'm so not up for this weird fight at the no. So I'm just gonna shrug it off and be like, it's an interesting book she's got. Are there many more of the same type in this library?
Yeah, the goblin shakes his head and yeah, he's got a bit of a sad look on his face. No, very rare to get new books these days. No trade with the other towns. Nobody wishes to part with knowledge. You have any books to sell?
I believe I do not. Sorry.
And what you see is what you get. If you're looking for something specific, I can try to point you the right way. But unlikely. Shrugs.
I wouldn't worry about it. I'm just browsing, and she happened to pique my curiosity with the book.
Browse away then. I will be watching.
So
That's not concerning at all.
kind of sinister.
I can't believe he was there the whole time and just let me leave my book behind.
Well, it's less that you left your book behind and more that your book vanished mysteriously while in
Probably
his
him.
presence. Alright, so yeah, Nat, are you going to do you want to peruse the books a bit, or shall we cut away and give your character a bit of time?
Yeah, shall I do some off-screen browsing?
Yeah, off-screen browsing, the best kind. Yeah, little montage. Yeah. All right. I want to cut back to Taunt. I want to see more about this this half dragon guy kind of wandering about sampling pastries. What can we do? What can we do? I think Taunt, as you're leaving the Eclair shop on Market Street, I think there's probably a young man, human, probably outside, kind of dithering about a bit, kind of looking like glancing nervously over his shoulder. And as you come out, he kind of looks at you, and it looks like he breathes like a small sigh of relief, and he kind of hurries up to you. Excuse me, my lord.
Yes, hello. How can I help?
The mayor asked me to seek you out. She wants wishes for you to. This is how he's speaking, by the way. This isn't just Stephen stammering. This guy appears to be very nervous. The mayor has asked for you to come and see her. A matter of employment, I think.
I see. Well, can you show me the way?
Of course. Of course, yes. Please follow me. And yeah, he's gonna lead you. He's gonna lead you down a few streets. Make me a perception check. Actually, I probably shouldn't rely on perception checks too often. Let me make a roll. Let me make another roll here. 23. Okay. Let's think. So that's a good roll. Your passive perception is 10. Okay. That's, well, it wasn't going to be higher than 23. Oh, pardon me. Let's say. Actually, no, I don't like that idea as much. No. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You make it to the. You make it to a. The man leads you to a kind of a largish wooden building, probably one of the larger buildings in town. And you can see coming out of the door, there's like a fairly constant stream of a fairly constant stream of both goblins and humans going in and out, like at least a couple of them every 30 seconds or so. And the guy leads you inside. And this is a good time for me to freeze up.
Do I just let him lead me somewhere, or do I look around for like someone from authority, or?
Yeah, so he is leading you inside. I'm just trying to establish this stuff in my head before opening my damn mouth. Which honestly I should have done with the whole session. But hey,
Same.
okay, yeah, he leads you inside, and yeah, you can see that kind of like leads you inside, and there's like a kind of a fairly large, not quite a waiting room, but kind of a lobby area where people are milling about a bit and like discussing things with one another. And there's maybe like a desk at one part with a I'm gonna say a human man behind him trying to converse quite heatedly with a farmer, possibly the farmer that we saw earlier, speaking to Alice. And yeah, he'll lead you straight past here down a corridor, and off of this corridor this corridor kind of has a doorway on both sides. Most of you can see that like kind of like fairly consistent line of like now I've almost completely steady stream of goblins entering the door on the left, which appears to like lead down some stairs and just vanishes into the darkness. But the guy leads you towards the door on the right here, and yeah, guy kind of like knocks on the door, waits for a minute. The door is closed when you arrive, and yeah, after a second or two, you hear a "come in" from the other side. Sounds like a human woman's voice. Guy opens the door and just like gestures you inside. And do you enter?
Yeah, I go on in.
I always like to check before, rather than like say, and you enter and this happens, or you enter and or you look around and this thing happens. I like to give you the option to not do it just in case. Yeah, you walk in and there is a probably a kind of middle-aged human woman sitting at a desk of sorts. I say a desk. It's probably like 3 differently shaped desks, kind of like shoved together, and all of these desks are just covered in like small reports, pieces of paper, various notes, like papers and things of like every different like shape and size that you can think of, like from like big parchment reports that like span many pages down to tiny just like scraps written on a like scrap notes written on a torn piece of wood. And she looks up at you and says, yeah, yes, come in. Pleasure to meet you. I am, my name is... Stephen checks his notes.
His name, Stephen checks his votes.
Yes, my name is Stephen checks his notes. My name is,
Pleasure to meet you,
Janine.
Stephen. Checks his notes.
How do you do?
That's his name now.
That's her name. My name is Janine. I'm one of the mayors here. How do you do? She like stands out and like kind of holds out a hand to shake yours.
Right, I extend my hand to shake her hand. Pleasure to meet you, Janine. I am Tonkaran Rarak. I was told you had need of me.
Yeah, you see her visibly just like hesitate at the name, like Karen, like just like struggling in her head to make sense of what you just said, and but after a second she just like nods and smiles politely and says, "Yes, there is a matter of some unusual occurrence that has recently happened. It's a bit of an odd subject, but I need to hire some muscle, I suppose, is a forgive me, not a very polite way of saying it, but
Not at all. What do you require this muscle for?
there's recently been a spat of livestock being slaughtered in on the outskirts of town. Just last 2 nights, a few goats going missing here and there. I was originally going to send a contingent of our own men, but when I heard that a paladin had entered, and she kind of like looks at your holy symbol. What kind of a holy symbol do you have? Like, how is it displayed?
I don't know. Probably.
Like is it just like a?
The shape of an eclair?
I'm sorry, what?
No, it's the
I don't know. I
drawing
suppose it's
on
probably
the-
just like a
on Roll20.
cross thing.
Yeah, I was kind of like picturing like a sword or something. I'm just asking where is it emblazoned? Is it like on your armor, or do you have it on a shield? Like
Yes.
where are you displaying? Yeah,
On the
like
shield.
just like on the shield, and like you see her kind of glancing at it, and as we discussed, this is yours is a god of like justice over law kind of deal, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you get the impression that she is kind of trusting you based on these beliefs, and she says, "Now, normally this might be we might consider this to be wolves or something of the like, but according to the farmers, the way that the animals were killed, and the fact that they were killed and then dragged off rather than eaten there and then, it's aroused some suspicion, and I don't mean to put biases in your mind before you even begin." And she like kind of turns to one of the some of the parchment stacks and like lifts up a small like stack of pieces of like paper, parchment, and some that have actually like crudely engraved wood, some of them, and says, "We've had a number of farmers complaining about it, or accusing, I should say, rather than complaining about it being goblin pranksters or thieves. This couldn't have come at a worse time, honestly, but I was hoping to enlist some outside help, somebody who isn't biased against our neighbors. Is this something that you'd be interested in doing?"
Well, yes, by all means, I shall lend my hand as well I can. Just point me in the
Wonderful.
direction, and I shall try my best.
Wonderful, wonderful. I have taken the liberty of also asking for aid from a few others. I don't know if you wish to work together with these people or operate separately. How do you usually? She kind of like gestures with her hands. How do you usually do this sort of thing?
Well, by all means, the more the merrier. I'm willing to help them if they're willing to help me.
All right. I think that's the moment when we cut to. Who should we cut to? Shall we cut to Oberon? Do you want to? Actually, sorry. No, we just had Nat, didn't we? Let's cut back to Soraya. So,
Yeah.
Soraya, you're like a local of this town, and and more to the point, you're a damn good trickster, and you've probably got like a good eye for usual tricks of the trade. Well, not trickster, but you know what I mean, rogue type.
Yeah.
So, yeah, where do we see you when a messenger comes running?
So I'm wandering around the markets looking for just an inattentive stall person. Just
Yeah.
because a young street urchin has to live somehow.
Yeah, and I think like maybe you you've managed to catch somebody unawares. Let's call it a. We've already had bakery a bunch of times. Let's call it a. Let's call it a clothing salesman, like somebody selling wool in both raw and already knitted variants. Are you stealing anything in particular? Are you like going for a coin purse?
Yeah, always going for the coin purse.
Yep, yep. And yeah, go ahead and make a quick sleight of hand check. I'll pose with 14. Uh-oh. Alright, so magically hopefully not magically, the peasant has managed to notice you, and kind of I think he just kind of like roughly kind of kicks at you as he sees you kind of reaching for his belt or one of his pockets, and just sounds like, "Oi, back off, you! Don't think I haven't seen you around here before."
I quickly run away and blend in with the crowd.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't think he gives chase. I think it's kind of expected that you're going to get a couple of thieves every so often. There's not much that anybody can do about them once they try to hide. He's probably more concerned about doing his business than spending time speaking to guards. And yeah, like you kind of run off into the crowd, and I think you are after a couple of seconds you realize that you're being followed. However, and you hear the hurried gasping of a goblin overexerting itself.
Whereabouts am I now? Am I in the crowd or at the edge?
Yeah, I think you're like within the crowd. So
I start to head towards a nearby alleyway.
yeah, and yeah, you can slip through the crowd and nip into an alleyway, kind of out of sight if you want, and.
Ren's in the alleyway.
You could be. Yeah, you definitely could be.
And I was looking for him.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you slip into an alleyway, and then in front of you, you see the dwarf from earlier again. And yeah, how are you presenting yourself, Ren? Are you kind of like trying to block the alleyway, look menacing?
Try and hit him with my staff as he's running, and kind of like knock him off his feet.
Oh, okay.
Can we do this?
Yes, yeah, that would be.
I'll probably fail, but I mean.
Yeah, so that would probably be an attack roll on him. So let me have a look here. Ren.
Definitely gonna fail it.
And yeah, let me also get Soraya's sheet up as well. All right, yeah, go ahead and roll to hit. To do this, oh, you haven't got your staff on there, so we'll just treat it as a quarterstaff. I don't think quarterstaffs can. Actually, what's the point? Actually, are quarterstaffs finesse weapons? Let's have a look. Armor, weapons, quarterstaff, versatile D8. No, okay. So that's just going to be a flat D20 because you've got your proficiency bonus, but -2 strength. And just roll /R space D20. And you are aiming for armor class of 14.
So bad.
Yeah. So, all right. So you miss. Soraya, how does this look? Do you like? Does he just whiff it, or do you like duck under the attack?
I just like lower my head slightly, and just keep running, and then like I sort of juke into a doorway, just to sort of see.
As Ren misses, he shouts, "Give me my book back!"
I juke into a doorway and shout back, "I didn't steal your book again."
Okay, I'm assuming he's ran off now. So.
Yeah, he's now inside the doorway, but yeah. So right, are you like continuing to run, or you like
Oh
now
no, I'm
hiding?
hiding in the doorway, waiting for whoever was following me to approach. So I'm
Yeah,
in the doorway
and-
to catch them unawares.
Yeah, and yeah, I think like Ren, you see like after that mention about the book, a sweaty-looking goblin comes like kind of running up, panting slightly, like chasing after Soraya. He probably like pauses next to you and says, looking for halfling, ran this way, yes?
And I say, yeah, in the doorway.
All right. Yeah, Goblin gives a hurried thank you, and yeah, runs like darts into the doorway. And I think Soraya, as soon as he sees you, he goes to like tackle you. I think because you're about the same size as one another.
I pull out my dagger. Like when I'm in the doorway, I pull out my dagger. And as he goes to tackle me, I take a step back and just point the dagger at him and tell him, "Stop."
All right. Yeah. Like yeah. You see him running up, and like maybe you hear him as well as he stops to ask for directions, so you have time to get your knife out. And yeah, he rounds the corner, and like you can see in his eyes, like, yes, finally got him. And then notices his knife, like, fuck, hang on. Like, yeah, he puts his hands up and like backs away a couple of steps, like, wait, only carrying message.
Okay.
Stab him. Do it.
Kill the quest giver.
I really want to,
How
but
to break the game in the first like hour.
nah. I just like I just say to him, "Okay, what is the message?"
Just trying to think. Goblins don't carry written stuff because they hate writing. But yeah, I think he just like has it memorized. Like says, Mayor Janine wants to speak to Soraya Fellspring. Wants to offer him job.
Okay, I will.
Quiver wonders why Soraya Fellspring gets job when Quiver doesn't.
Because you're bad. I heard you coming from a mile away. So yeah, go away. I'll go see the mayor now. Go away.
Quiver Fellspring also told to bring Lanky Dwarf as well.
Lanky dwarf.
I'm gonna go.
He like
because-
looks back at you, Ren.
I'm gonna go because I want to question Soraya about my book. So I'm following so that I can pursue that.
Okay.
Yes. Quiver takes you. Yes.
I say, no. I know my way to the mayor's office. Leave me alone. Silly.
And I'll go with him. With Soraya.
Very good. Not Quiver's problem anymore. Good day. Like goes running off again. Alright, so you guys are heading for the mayor's office, and let's see who next. Alright, so we've got Taunt, we've got Ren, and we've got Soraya. So we need just Oberyn and Alice now. Alice,
Ew.
let's see. Are you still at the library?
No, I've left. I'm walking towards the mayor now.
It's kind of like just sermon's over kind of thing.
Yeah.
Go back to your business.
Yep.
All right, yeah, you leave a couple of people kind of like mumbling about this idea of like the god of the light and the god of the dark, and how the god of the dark is somehow not the evil one. That just seems backwards as hell to them. So yeah, you said you're already going to the mayor's office. Is this a thing where like, you've had the message delivered, or are you going there?
Yeah, I've already had a message from who was at my sermon.
And Oberon, do you wanna like skip receiving the message, or?
I don't mind role playing it.
Okay, so yeah, are
So,
you
yeah.
are you still in the library for like browsing books?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty much done now. I'm gonna go ahead and give that little goblin dude a wink and say bye. And
As you're leaving him, you see him like kind of like standing on the. I think he's standing on the table in front of the human girl who's got Ren's book, and she's making like weird gestures with her hands, and he's just kind of like staring at her a bit blankly. He just kind of like waves you off as you leave. I think like she glances at you and like does like a little start kind of thing of like, oh shit, there was another person here. What the fuck? And you're on your way out, and I think there's a human out there kind of just looking around, like probably a few like scattered elements of the crowd left, and he's just I think like probably like quite tall, very burly looking human, like one of the guards probably, but maybe like off duty, just kind of scratching his head, looking around, one hand on his hip. As you come out, he like turns and you says, "Oh, you see another one of your like around here?" Like gesturing at his ears, at one of his ears.
I'm sorry, do I know you?
No, I'm probably not. I'm with the guard. I'm carrying a message for the mayor. Supposed to find a couple of like half-elves, half-bloods or something.
Oh, that's interesting. I saw one preaching before, but yes, I am a half-breed, half-blood, whatever you said. So, what's this message?
Message is mayor's looking to put together an expedition or something. Supposed to take you over to her. Didn't see the other one though. Maybe one of the others got to her
Wow.
first.
I haven't seen him either, so shall we head over to the mayor's office?
Sure, fine. So yeah, the party assembles. Avengers, go!
Cute
Alright,
epic
so-
music.
It's the big dragonfly from earlier.
Alright, so yeah, you guys all, you guys, eventually, after, how long have we been going now? An hour and a half. Eventually, we have the party together,
Correct.
and yeah, okay, you all meet in the in Mayor Janice's office, and I think Taunt has probably only been like a few minutes since you arrived. You only kept waiting for a little while, and yeah, then all of these other various misfit characters appear. Any like kind of reactions from any of you as you arrive?
I'm gonna say that on the walk, me and Soraya spoke with him a little bit. I've decided that he didn't take the book. So it must be somewhere else.
Yeah, you believe him?
So
Yeah.
we're not gonna worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
As I walk in, I look at I suppose I got there. Who would have been there when I got there? Everyone or?
Definitely the half dragon, dragon boy. I'm not sure about the others. I think we can say that you guys arrived second, or if you prefer, you can say that you arrived last.
Okay. Well, no. So just Tom's there. Oh yeah. As we walk in, I look over at this big blue, chubby dragon, and I sort of don't really say anything. I just sort of stare at him a bit like he's a familiar face, but we've definitely not met before.
Yeah, Dragonborn, probably very rare, but it's very possible you might have read about them somewhere. You're a learned individual.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys arrive. Soraya, you run into your dragon friend again, the one who gave you the scones. Very good of him.
I was like,
Uh,
oh, hello there, Tom. Did you manage to find any eclairs?
Oh, hello, my little eclair friend. Yes, I found one. It was just as you described, most delicious.
Yeah,
How was
the
your,
secret ingredient
skull?
is earwax.
Oh, lovely. That's delicious now. Thank you for telling me that.
Anytime.
oh, you're talking about the eclairs on Market Street. Yeah, yes, I do keep meaning to. I do keep meaning to have that investigated, but well, priorities, I suppose. Eventually, yeah, I think Alice, you're the next to arrive. That brings us to 4. Oberon, and who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anyone? No, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, no, that's everybody. I'm good at this, guys. The party assembles, and the mayor kind of clears her throat and prepares to give the speech that she gave earlier to Taunt once again, wondering why she'd bothered to tell it twice instead of just waiting until everybody was here. So, you are probably wondering why you're all here. I know you're not, we've already spoken. There's been a bit of a bout recently of unfortunates happening to some of our farms. Several separate incidences of animal slaughter, livestock being killed and stolen during the night. Nobody saw anything, but I have it on fairly good authority that it wasn't the goblin population. I don't suppose any of you know anything about this so far? Just right off the bat? Like looks uncertainly between the group of you.
Do we?
I don't think so. No, I don't think any of you know about this.
Okay.
So yeah, assuming that she just gets like the same awkward silence back is. No, okay, that's good. I was worried it might have been one of you, but who knows? Maybe that'll come up. So I was hoping to hire you for your with your diverse skill sets, like looking around nervously, like you guys do have a diverse skill set, right? Like this guy, this dwarf looks like he spends most of his time in books. We've got a half dragon here who looks like he could kill everybody in the room. We've got we've got 2 half elves. One of them looks like one of I don't know. Looking around, like it's a very ragtag group, but yeah, she eventually kind of like nods to herself and says, "The last occurrence was on the Nasiv farm, out just north of town. Do you think you could go and perhaps speak to the farmer, see if he knows anything, maybe find out what you can?"
How far is this farm?
It's just across the river, barely a mile out.
Can I?
And what would we gain from doing this?
All about the money.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I will be reimbursing you for your efforts. Shall we say? Then it looks around at the group of you, trying to gauge your value, I guess. Shall we say 5 gold pieces apiece for a successful completion of the investigation?
I will do it for a favor.
What would this favor entail? Gives you a bit of an uncertain look. Gives you the look of somebody who's been asked for favors before and has been screwed over by it.
It's simple. You can ask the guards to help you. I came to the library today, and I had a book. The book was quite important to me.
The
I'm
library
hoping
does have a lot of
that
books.
you can assist me. No, I had my own personal book, and now this book is missing. I'm wondering if you can at least ask the guards to inquire about this book, and if I can get it back.
The library, is that still being run by old Wrinkles?
It was empty when I was there, apart from this little halfling.
So, you probably know that there is a goblin who resides in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know if you know his name is Wrinkles, though. And, of course, Oberon, if you want to speak up and mention this goblin.
I was gonna do
You
that
can, but-
after, like, we got our
Yeah.
quest or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway.
I shall. Very well. I shall speak to who I can and see about getting this property returned
The
to you.
book is called Ancient Arcane Civilizations and Where to Find Them.
Oh,
You've been waiting to say that, haven't you?
Yeah, I actually just thought it up. I thought it'd be quite funny.
Did I
it is.
see what the book was called? Or did I just see what was like what it is about or whatever?
Make a perception check.
Okay, where is it?
Calling a 6. Damn it. So close.
Very close, yeah. No, you didn't. You didn't really pay attention to the book that she was reading. It looks like quite advanced reading, but I don't think it caught your attention very greatly.
Might be.
Never mind. Well, of course I shall make sure that the book is returned to you. Although I believe that's our job, regardless of whether or not you complete the investigation. So you would be paid either way.
Very well.
Of course, if you wish to take it up with Christ, I wrote down all of these names and now I can't remember any of them. If you wish to take it up with old Scruff downstairs, then he might also be of better help with this kind of thing. He has a way of finding these things.
Well, perhaps you can talk to him for me, and I can get off and talk to this farmer.
Yes, that sounds fair. Are there any other conditions? Any of you? Kind of like looks around. That sounds like a big loud no.
Silence.
So I make notes. Excellent. Complete silence. Excellent. All right. Well then, I trust that you will begin immediately. I'm used to having to order people around. I don't often have to hire mercenaries. Forgive me.
Yes, of course, we'll be on our way then.
Shall we get going then?
Aye.
Of course, as soon as you can. Thank you. Like she kind of like leans over her desk, like and starts making several notes on spare bit of parchment. Probably like turns one of the letters that she's received over and just like starts like scribbling on it with a quill. And what do you guys do? Do you want to just head out and begin the quest?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. You get a little notification popping up like over the top of your normal vision saying quest accepted. None of you have ever seen this before because you're only just starting out. It's pretty weird. But okay, yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. I'm sorry that was a bit of a boring start there with me freezing up as much as I was, but hopefully that will be overcome as we go. Just one of those things where, like, legitimately, I have not had a lot of time to prepare on this one. I usually give myself like a few weeks on this, and I gave myself 1 week, and most of that week was spent in France. So,
Nice.
oh, that was a mistake.
I don't think we made it so easy for you to put the groups
Yeah, yeah.
together either.
Yeah, I think-
Really,
I've
Running
had-
away from each other.
I've had better parties. I've had worse parties. Don't worry about it. Like,
I was thinking
well,
when I
you're
was
doing better
making
than
this,
you're doing a lot
this
better than my worst.
I was thinking when I was making this character as like a loner, booky, miserable, middle-aged man. It's like, how is he going to introduce it to a party?
Yeah.
I mean, at least we didn't kill each other in the first hour.
Yeah,
I think that's
true.
probably
It's a good
I was
start.
tempted.
it's
Start,
tempted.
you know, we only had one player versus player attack roll. It was great.
This is where I started putting out the knife. I was like, oh, here we go. Here starts the murder.
It's time!
Murder time.
Starting with you, Miss Mayor. Alright, fantastic. So yeah, that was, again, just a bit of a shorter one. We've established a little bit about the setting, or like where we are. You guys have got your first quest. We've established who the characters are and gotten ourselves a little bit of information about each of them. Hopefully, hopefully everybody is satisfied with the information you got out. If not, Well, we'll try a little bit harder next time. And I think that is us good for the time being. There was an awful lot of role playing going on in there, guys. I'm very proud of you. Everybody, go ahead and just take a point of inspiration on that.
Wow.
Yay.
Inspiration, if anybody is not familiar, is recorded on the character sheet, and it basically means that you can, for free, at some point, roll any check, any skill check or attack roll, anything with a d20 with advantage.
So have you seen on your streams someone said 0 out of 10 needed more scones?
You should have
I
asked
agree
for
with that.
scones from the mayor.
Well, I mean, 5 gold pieces, that's probably a lot of scones. Like, how many
That's
scones
a
is that?
lot
Like
of scones.
300?
I feel like when she was explaining it to me at the very end, I should have just went, "Would you like a scone?"
I have spare.
Yeah, totally. It would have confused her a bit, but it would have been a welcome break from her work. All right, very good. And shall we say same time next week? Anybody got any problems with?
Nope.
I'll not be able to be here next week.
Okay,
Sunday.
okay.
Oh, no scones next week.
No scones, unfortunately.
That's a shame. Well, we can. I don't want to get too far ahead without the whole party being available. So maybe we put it off another week, and I just spend a bit further time making sure that we're actually prepared next time. And when we say we, I mean making sure that I am properly prepared next time.
I don't know. I think
Okay.
we can all take something from here. Like there were situations where we didn't really know much about ourselves.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we
Yeah, I
can
think
all spend some time.
we do need
maybe
some time
working
just to.
backstories and
Sure.
religions and stuff like that. We can all help each other out.
Sure, like everybody having like a bit more this familiarity with their character and how they want to play, perhaps. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Let me think. Yeah, okay. I'll spend some time getting more notes down, establishing more about these religions. I am loving some of the ideas for gods that we've got so far. Yeah, Raktis and Amity. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Maybe we should have like a channel in the D&D thing where everyone just more information about that character.
Yeah, we could do. We could maybe ask Zeke to set up. I don't know, maybe like just like character info kind of thing.
Well, my character's kind of secretive, but I would like to try and put some information on, like, because he's quite interested in the history and the temples and stuff. I'd like to throw out some ideas for like temples and
Tell you what,
religions,
actually.
if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, you don't have to put everything. You can just put what you think is necessary at the moment.
Yeah, like what the other characters maybe like know or like can reasonably know. And tell you what, actually, instead of setting up a thing in the Discord, I'll add a handout for each of you in the Roll20 that everybody can read, but only the actual like character themselves can edit.
Alright.
I'll get that set up.
Awesome.
Alright guys, thank you for
Thank you.
playing. And thanks to however many viewers we have left on the stream, thank you for putting up with us this far. If you'd like to come back and do it all again 2 weeks from now, we'd be happy to have you.
Don't worry, there'll be more scones.
More scones.
will be more
That's
scones.
very important.
And
It's a matter of urgency with the campaign is the quest for scones.
And make sure to tune into the stream on Tuesdays and Fridays for Chocobos.
Oh, wait,
Read.
No, shameless advertisement.
Shout out.
Yeah, where you can watch Taunt die repeatedly, and it'll mostly
I
be
like
my
this idea.
fault.
Murdered by a giant scone
Well, thanks for
in
watching,
his arteries.
and good night.
It's going to be the next escape dungeon.